Hey everybody, welcome to the laboratory. Hope everyone's doing okay, hope everyone's safe and having fun. Today what I'm going to do here is a short little informational video to address a need that I have noticed recently. Over the past month or so, I've had a few guys be contacting me and asking me like, hey, what do you think is wrong with this talk box? It's doing this or it's doing that or this happened. And one of the snags in trying to help them out, I found, is that the nomenclature, the names of the pieces, there's no standard. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a talk box or two, and I'm going to go through it and show you what I call the various parts. They're all based on the function, of what the parts do, so it's pretty simple and pretty logical. But I think that having a common naming system for the pieces will make it a little easier for us to communicate about what might possibly be going on and which parts we're talking about, so we're all on the same page. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so here we go. First of all, let's start with this one. All right. Typical talk box, and here's what I call the parts. This outer piece that all the other pieces fit into, for obvious reasons, I call that the frame. On the front of the frame, we have tone arm, needle, tone arm retaining pin, and tone arm spring. This piece I call the tape lift arm. This I call the tape lift arm spring. You can see the voice tape here and the lower spool assembly. Turning it over to the next side, this is the flywheel cover. These come in two styles. This little strip style on the more recent boxes, and this one here, that's usually you find it on the older ones. Looks like Hasbro was trying to save a little plastic, but it doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. Okay, inside of, or underneath I should say, the flywheel cover, we have the flywheel itself. The plastic piece, that's the flywheel. These are the flywheel weights, and obviously the flywheel pads. Okay, moving right along, I call this piece in here, this part of the frame, the flywheel housing. Flipping it over to the back side, we have the back pad, the back plate, upper spool. The upper spool consists of the spool itself. I call this the pull string guide because the pull string winds up in here. The ribbon spring, and you can see that down here as well. And this I call the ribbon spring guide. Now, as to these parts, oh, one more I forgot. This is the upper spool axle. Okay, so I probably should show you this too. And this piece here that holds the tape in a groove on here, I can show you that in a minute. I call this the tape retainer's pin. There's also one on the lower spool down here to hold the other end of the tape. All right, a little bit more of a breakdown for you. We have several styles. First of all, this is the upper spool axle. This is a steel rod that slides through there that the axle and the ribbon spring ride on. This is the ribbon spring guide. As you can see, the axle slides right through there and the ribbon spring wraps around it. In later model ones, as you can see here, there is no ribbon spring guide. It just rides directly on the upper axle spool. And you can see that there's nothing here either. Okay, now some of them incorporate this. The axle slides through and the ribbon spring rides on this. And as I pointed out in later ones, even this piece is missing in the upper spool. is just, without this part. And the spring rides around the axle right here. Hope that's clear enough. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to the bottom part. Lower spool assembly. I have one right here. The ribbon spring would normally attach here, but this one's broke, obviously. This is the groove where the lower spool tape retaining pin goes. It's exactly the same as the upper one. All right, let's take this apart. By getting these apart, you just rotate it counterclockwise and pull and it'll come right out. This, for obvious reasons, I call the lower gear. And inside the lower spool assembly right here, we have the clutch spring. Give you a quick thing on how this works. I think I did some video on this before, but we'll show you again. To put it back in, rotate counterclockwise and push gently and make sure that the spring doesn't pop out on this side. When you rotate, when you pull the string, the lower spool can spin and wind up the ribbon spring without any resistance. When you let go of it, it rotates in the opposite direction, and that clutch spring locks that gear in place, and that gear hooks up with the flywheel gear and spins the flywheel to make the thing talk. Okay, so another note, whenever you get a brand new talker, if it's gotten wet or if it's gotten damp, these springs will rust away, and if they don't work and grab hold, what will happen is the entire mechanism will snap back quite violently, and you can wind up ripping the tape off of the upper spool, or you can even break this little piece here on the tape lift arm where the spring hooks on. So every time you get a talker, don't just pull it and let go. Pull it out and kind of follow the string back in to make sure that this clutch spring in here hasn't rusted away or broken or anything like that. Okay, let's take a quick look to see if I forgot anything. No, I believe I named them all. Okay, and we'll run through it one more time. The outer piece that everything fits into is called the frame. Tone arm spring, tone arm retaining pin, needle, tape lift arm spring, lower spool assembly, flywheel cover, flywheel underneath, pads, flywheel weights, flywheel housing, upper spool, pull string guide, ribbon spring, and don't forget retainer that's sometimes in there, upper axle spool, back pad, back plate, lower gear, voice tape, and clutch spring. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I hope that was informative and helped you guys out. Once again, those are just the names that I use based on the obvious function of the item. And this should make it easier for everybody to communicate a little better about what we're talking about when we're talking about fixing talkers. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. I hope it helps you out. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. Have fun. And let's get them all back on duty.